January has been wild thus far. So I have like a little craft I'm gonna do today. I'll give you some explanation of it later, but I'm just gonna do a little craft, a little paint pen work on ceramic while I kind of talk to you about like what the last month looked like. Most important update is my dream dresser went on sale, 40% off, 40% off. So I finally bit the bullet and bought the Anthropologie Daybreak dresser, which I've been looking at for like 3 years. I love her. So let's get into the craft. So I made some air dry clay pieces for some friends with my mom's like air dry, dropped a lot of it, clay stuff. And there will be some lore revealed, unfortunately, throughout this process, but today I'm going to kind of paint them with my paint pens, which I have acrylic dual tip paint markers. I believe these have appeared when I purchased them in a different video. And thus far, paint quality wise, I'm really enjoying them, but case wise, it is nearly impossible to get all of the pens back in the box. And then I picked them up and more than half fell out. So I'm gonna have to just lay these out in front of me. That's me like spreading them out so I can see what colors I have, and then I'm gonna like paint the different ceramics and then kind of tell you about the last month of my life. Okay, so I was posting, I went on, so okay, actually, okay, the first two I'm gonna do are these little intended to be coasters. I don't know if they'll work out that great as coasters, maybe they'll just be ceramic slabs. But these are for my friends, Kat and Lindsay, and they were the like famous not Malibu, they're in Santa Monica, but I think some people call them the Malibu houses on accident. But on the Santa Monica boardwalk, there's 2 houses. One is black, like all black, and the other one is like mostly pinks and purples. It's like the Barbie house and the goth house, and they had the most stunning, absolutely gorgeous Halloween costumes as those 2 houses this year. So I thought I'd make them like a little coaster symbol just to like represent how amazing their Halloween costumes were. They turned out okay. But you can see I sketched the houses in there, and I'm thinking I'll do like these edges in the colors and then try like maybe an outline for where the house is. So let's get started on that. So I'm sure you all very deeply have been paying attention. Oh, this is not very opaque on here. Be better. I've now been deeply paying attention to my posting schedule, which was every Tuesday and Thursday for the last few months, I believe. As I've kind of revamped, the AveSMR Renaissance has been happening. So that's kind of like what I committed to. I built out like a schedule for it, and I had this like Mondo vacation scheduled. I was gone for I think our vacation plan was like a little over 3 weeks, like 21 days would be 3 weeks. I think it was a little bit over that. Originally we left December 16th, and then we came back January 8th, and we kind of squeezed in like 4 countries, 4 if you're counting America, which is where we live. If you count like layovers, because we were able to have long enough layovers that we like snuck out of the airports and actually got to do some exploring. So I kind of count those, even if it was just like a day trip. But we did Norway and Japan, and I have a recap coming of like all the fun stuff that happened. It was a really lovely trip. We had an amazing time. Yeah, it was just like amazing. We did Norway with my parents. This was me and my boyfriend did Norway with my parents, and then my boyfriend and I did Japan on our own, and then flying to Norway, we had a night in London where we actually like stayed in a hotel, so that feels like legit. We had a night in London, and then we had a layover on the way back in Hawaii, which was 8 hours. So we rented a car and we like drove around the islands. It was really like along the island. We were in the Honolulu, so we were on Oahu. We like went out to the blowhole and came back. But then, so where we were coming back to was Los Angeles, which happened to catch on fire on the last day of our trip. So we were in the, like, people were talking about it. I think they started talking about it like maybe before we got on the plane, or maybe the fires started while we were on the plane from Japan to Honolulu. And then by the time we got in Honolulu, it was like LA is on fire and like it's very bad. And we were kind of like, do we even, Kat, I know you're not watching this because you're not an ASMR girly, but love the thought of this, even if it's not the best. Anyway, so we were like, do we even go back to LA, or are our flights gonna get canceled? Like, the flights were kind of like near the airport too. Like, what is going on? Do we stay in Hawaii? We kind of wanted to stay in Hawaii because, wow, it is just 8 hours there. Most of which, like, well, not most of which, but like a significant portion was spent in the airport. But like the 4-ish hours we got like out and about were so beautiful and so wonderful. Anyway, we were like, do we stay in Hawaii? Do we go back to LA? We like, even though we were a little tempted to stay in Hawaii, because Hawaii, we decided, okay, so we don't have a car at the airport. We, like, our apartment is in a safe area. Oh, and I guess apartment was safe. I have nothing. We were pretty unimpacted by the fires other than anxiety. But we were like, we don't have our car at the airport. Like, we don't know how crazy LA is gonna be. We're worried about even getting from the airport home. So we're worried, like, can we even get home? This is looking like dangerous. Like, we want to get near our stuff. We should unfortunately leave Hawaii, go home, like get to our actual house and get like ready to evacuate if we need to evacuate. And then also, like, we grew up around, that's what I was trying to say before I lost my train of thought. We grew up around wildfires, or we grew up in Colorado, where like a lot of wildfires start, especially recently. It's become more of a problem because of climate change. So because of all of that, we were like, it is smarter to go home and like suss out the situation there. Okay, black-ish edges. Honestly, a Sharpie might have been better for this. Womp womp. I'm gonna attempt to trace some of it. Maybe I'll do like a halo around it. Yeah, I'll do like a halo around it and then write her name. Okay. So we fly back to LA, and it's a lot like, I mean, it's like where we were, it was a lot less apocalyptic than it felt going in, so that like kind of soothed the anxieties, because it's like we did like fly through the smoke at night, which like blocked out all the lights, which was crazy. And then like I want to lick this, but it's acrylic paint, so I don't think that's the wisest. But like we did like see a hill on fire, kind of near the sunset fire, which ended up going out the night we were home. And then but it was like a little less scary, like actually getting to be on the ground, because like going in we're seeing like videos of just like abandoned cars, like parts where it's really bad, and like like you're looking at the map and you're like, it's not super near our apartment, but it is like scary, just not knowing. So getting home and knowing was good. But then we went to bed that night. During that process, like both of our roommates, like the night we arrived, had decided to leave LA, like do their like pre-evacuation evacuation. So okay, this one's done. I'm not writing her name on it because I feel like it's gonna go bad, but this one's done. So for the next one, I need like a pink. Here we go. This is the pink one for Lindsay. I picked this like hot pink fuchsia color. But so both our roommates evacuate the night we get in, which, you know, honestly a little nice. You come in and you're like, oh, I actually get to be home alone on coming home, because like that was one of the things that was like nice about vacation, was just like having our own space for a little bit. So it's like, I don't know, like we were like, I guess it's kind of like, obviously we love the roommates, but you know, you gotta dig up some sort of bright side amongst the chaos. So we got a night like home alone to ourselves. We got to go to bed. I also, the whole trip, had convinced myself that our flight got in at like 11:59 p.m., like right before midnight. So I was like, we're not gonna get home until like at least 1. We get in so late. And then the day of the flight, I look at it and we literally got in at 9. And I was like, oh, I don't know where I imagined that, but it was a nice, it was a pleasant surprise to find out that we did not, like we got in way earlier, which made everything way more relaxing. Well, as relaxed as you can be when you're flying home to a burning city. Yeah. So we got home and we went to bed. I was like, at that point, I hadn't really felt like I could feel or smell any smoke. Come on, pink. Come on, pink. Be better. I wish I had better paints. But so we go to bed and we like have work the next day. Like we were both working remotely, which is nice. Like we are lucky enough to have that flexibility to work remotely, and like have jobs that were like, yeah, don't come in. Like I think my boyfriend's like office was like either right on the edge of an evacuation zone or like in it. It was like one building was in it and one building was across the street from where the evacuation zone line was, and he was like, oh, I'm not going in. So we're like at home and we have no food because we've been gone for weeks. So we're like settling in and we get to our lunch breaks and everything seems fine. Like we hadn't gone outside yet at this point. So we're like, okay, we have some money in foreign currencies that we'd like to get exchanged. And we have no food, so we took our lunch breaks to go like out into the world. Okay, we have to switch pinks and hope it's not too noticeable, because this did not go well. Okay, it's like, do I even give this to them if it looks this bad? But I don't know, maybe it's the thought that counts. Maybe they'll find it endearing. Maybe I'll give it to them and be like, okay, I tried really hard to make you a cute craft and it maybe didn't work out so well, so you can throw it out and I will not be offended. I had to switch to a purple to try to get the edge for this. Purple's nice and juicy, so this is working better. Definitely the smoother surfaces this works on. Anyway, back to the updates. So we go out to do errands and we're out for like an hour, and we both, like, that morning I'd been sick. Oh, that's another part of the lore, is that while we're in Japan, we're like doing like a tourist attraction, tourist trappy thing, and I'm like in front of this kid for like, it's like one of those towers. It's like going up to the Empire State Building where you like wait in an hour plus long line to go up, and then you're like, oh, and we're tall, okay. And I was stuck in front of this kid who was coughing the whole time, and I just knew he was gonna get me sick. So I was sick from like the beginning of the year until very recently, which is another part of the problem. This one's for Lindsay. Far away on camera, it doesn't look as bad as I see it in person. Okay, anyway, so the end of that thought process is I was sick from like January 1st to like, I didn't fully kick it until like the 20th or something, like very, very recently. So also a delaying factor in filming is that whenever I had the opportunity to film, I was so snotty. It was disgusting. I was like, no one wants to hear this. Okay. And then pause while I explain the next few items. These are the next ones. And these are for my work friends. Kind of like a thing that we've done previously is we like to have picnics, but we also like to have tea parties where we have like little dudes on our desk, like little figurines and stuff, and we'll take the figurines and we will have a tea party. So I made everybody like a little tea party accoutrement. For my friend Helena, who usually hosts the tea parties because she has a little table at her desk, I made her a little potted plant. It's like a decor thing. And then Samantha, who's a big picnicker and always has a picnic basket, she got a picnic basket. And then Alyssa, who is always just like, she's so organized and always takes such amazing care of us and just shows us all love. I made a little plate of cinnamon rolls, a little snacky snack to bring to the party. And then poor Vix broke. I'm so sorry, Vic, but I made you a little picnic blanket that's now a little picnic blanket that's now in a lot of pieces. And I put a little heart-shaped pillow on it, but it's because one time we had a picnic and our mom sent her a text that was like, did anyone sit on your blanket at the picnic? And I wanted to give her a little dude sitting on a picnic blanket, so she'd always have someone on her blanket. So I think for Vix, it's kind of like, it looks more like a knapsack pillow situation. So I think I'll just explain the lore. Maybe I can make her the mini picnic blanket. But based off of how coloring's going, yikers. So, but this does provide an opportunity for me to smash these, so. I hope that sounded great. I hope that sounded amazing, and I hope you enjoyed it. So, sorry, Vic's picnic blanket. Because this is going poorly, I think what I'm gonna do is we'll start with Helena's little thing, and I'm leaving them in the foreground. And I'm gonna start with this. I might leave the potted plant. I was gonna do it brown, but we're not taking risks. We're using as much as the natural color will allow us. Okay, the green's coming out well. So, we're doing these little picnic parties. And back to the which I'm sure you all are following so well because I'm telling it in such a succinct and linear way. Anyway, so we get to we do our hour worth of errands. That's where we were. Believe it or not, we're only at the hour worth of errands. And we start, I'm not feeling great, but I'd been not feeling great, so it's hard to tell why I'm not feeling great, But then my boyfriend is I feel really bad. I think it's from being exposed to the smoke. And we look at the air quality, and the air quality is 150, and it's typically 50. So that number is apparently bad, is what I learned. So my stomach kind of hurts. I feel a little dizzy. My boyfriend is also feeling he feels it in his body, sick and just nauseous. So we're okay. Our families live in Colorado. It is a 16-hour drive from here. We have jobs that are remote that we can work remotely at. We have the resources to do this. We feel our apartment's gonna be okay, but our bags are still packed from our big trip, so we have 2 weeks worth of clothes that desperately needs to be laundered, but at least there's 2 weeks in there. So we just we're screw it, let's just go. So we packed up the car and we started driving to Colorado. That's as good as that's gonna get. Cinnamon rolls. That's what color is a cinnamon roll? Brown with icing on top. So another fun thing that I did to myself is when we were in Japan, I dropped my credit card holder while we were in the train station booking bullet train tickets to go from Kyoto to Tokyo, and then we had to get on the bullet train, and we did not find my card holder, which contained not only all of my credit cards that I then had to figure out which ones I could replace without being able to get a text message to double verify that I was myself. So I had to schedule those, but then also my driver's license was in there. So when we got, and I also couldn't start a replacement into that while we were in Japan because you had to get dual authentication. Text messages, there was no way to use email. So I came back to the States, no driver's license, and we were about to start a road trip. So when I requested my driver's license replacement, and I also did not the brightest thing. I just took a picture of it with my phone because we don't have a printer at home. So there's no way to get back to the PDF of it once you save it. Once you don't save it, because obviously you'd think a person would save that, and I didn't because I was tired and the world was on fire. So we had to swing by my office so I could print out the phone picture of the temporary driver's license and sign it and just hope that we didn't get pulled over, which I did never get pulled over, so that was lovely. But if you're ever in Kyoto by the Shinkansen and want to check to see if they have a hot pink card holder that was lost on January 1st, 2025, let me know. Those are mine. I guess I don't. The only thing I really need back at this point is my student ID was in there, and I am no longer a student. But that means I will never get another student discount in my life because I have no way of replacing a student ID. So if you could get that back, I would be eternally grateful. I'm sure they have a 30-day retention policy or whatever, and then destroy it. So RIP my Emerson College student ID. Vegas that night, we got in, I think, around 1 in the morning because also the Santa Ana winds that started these massive fires were still going, which made a 4 or 5 hour detour on our drive, which meant we didn't get into Vegas till really late, and then made that like 16-hour drive, a 20-hour drive, which was a lot of hours. We were definitely pretty sick of being in the car by the time, because we did take a late start out of Vegas the next day, so we didn't really get in until like 10 p.m. on Friday. And those 2 days we were like working in the car, so like it would be like on my driving shift, my boyfriend would be checking my Teams messages and sending my Teams messages for me. And then on my shifts, I was like, I guess shout out to Mint Mobile, who gave everybody like 50 gigabytes, so I was able to work while driving through the desert. So like Mint Mobile, like I was like hotspotting, like doing some work, like because I needed to be logged in into like Photoshop, which was annoying. I was like, I have Photoshop, you know I have it. But like I was using it to get logged in and send Teams messages, and I even tried hopping on a call, so didn't really lose those 2 days of work, but it was definitely an adventure. Okay, this I'm afraid of ruining with paint, so I think I'm gonna do like a chic red handle like thing, like just at the base, and then call it good, because it is like a natural color. So we'll do a little pop of red. So yeah, we worked in the desert, and then we got into Colorado, which, you know, we didn't go home for the holidays, so it was nice to see the family who wasn't on vacation with us. So that's a bonus. This one turned out way better, but now we don't mess with that. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the heart in red, and then like some little color splotches on the blanket beneath it. And I think I'm gonna try to do a smiley face on the heart. Actually, I'm gonna do the blanket in red and the heart in like a yellow. Although this red is juicy. Do I regret this immediately? Maybe. But so we go home, and I had my stuff to try to record, but deeply ill. Like I also during this time had too many class pass credits that I needed to burn through by the 27th. So I was like, I kept booking class passes, and then I'd wake up and be like, I still can't breathe. Cancel the class. And then I was like, I'm gonna film today, and then I'd wake up and be like, I can't breathe. And my parents' basement, which is what I moved my room into, was so loud and just horrible. Not that this is the most soundproofed location ever, but it was loud, it was horrible. Like, I kind of had access to a mic, but it was just like, I don't know, it didn't happen. I was a little burnt out. I was like working remote, ill, cranky. I was so cranky. Loved my parents and loved that they put up with how crazy cranky I was during this whole process, because I was like, I just want to go back to where I live, and I know I'm gonna get back where I live and be like, wah, about like all the stuff I'm usually wah about, but like I just wanted to like be annoyed by normal stuff and not be like hovering over the watch duty app 24/7, and being like, oh, this person evacuated, now this person's back, should we be going back? I don't know. But we decided we were only gonna drive on a weekend because working from the car was crazy. So we ended up doing 2 full weekends and 1 full week, I believe, or was it 2 full weeks and 3 full weeks? Oh, it was 2 full weeks and 2 full weekends, and then a weekend of driving on the end. So trying to get some normalcy back into life, trying to get AveSMR back on schedule. So, like, a little behind the scenes peek is I'm kind of functioning in sets of 20 videos at a time. Like, that's what I scheduled out before I went on vacation, so I decided that's just like what my like my spreadsheet looks like, so I'm keeping it just be yellow. Vic, I know, is gonna watch this, so you see the labor of love I'm putting in. Also, welcome, Vic. I know you love a shout out. Hi, Vic. Welcome to the ASMR world. She didn't like it or didn't listen to ASMR before I started like taking my channel really seriously, and then I got her into it. So she gets a lot. She submitted a special request today, and I'm gonna make a video saying her name. I'm gonna make a POV video where I'm like, "Hi, Vic," doing makeup eventually. So if you ask nicely, I will try to do stuff. Okay, we're putting a smiley face, and also I love her, and she's perfect, and she makes my life so beautiful. So I'd love to do anything for her. Anyway, this is Vic's blanket. Oh, he looks scary. This is very on brand with the state of the Aves. I am gonna try to do her little blanket because the red was nice and juicy, so I'll try to bring her a bonus piece and be like, I hope this makes up for the fact that your piece was smashed into smithereens in my luggage. Which I still haven't even fully unpacked yet. Trying to figure out just like where stuff's gonna, well, we got the new dresser, so like the first day back was all me like cleaning, taking everything out of the old dresser to prep it for the newer dresser, and it's just a lot of stuff. This doesn't look too bad. This doesn't look too bad. Shows the ugliest thing on the face of the planet. I might not even give these away because I am a little embarrassed. But the idea was so cute. I don't know. State of the Aves is here. I'm back. I'm making content. I'm gonna get back on my Tuesday, Thursday schedule. I made a new bumper for the like end of the videos. So I have a lot of travel coming up this year, so I'm gonna be putting in a lot of effort to make sure these videos come out on time and filming them ahead. And I hope you enjoy them, and I'm glad you're here. And if you're one of the recipients of these lovely prizes, I hope you enjoy them.